Namaste. So, good morning students. So, welcome to business studies class. This is the 10th chapter, that is internal trade. As per your syllabus, it is a 7th chapter for you. As per our textbook, there is a 10th chapter. So, we should understand the basic concept of internal trade, because we are going to have one more chapter, that is a international trade, advanced concept. So, before understanding that concept, we should know the word is internal trade. Now, come to the meaning of internal trade. On the basis of geographical location of buyers and sellers, we can divide the trade into two types. First one, internal trade, and second one, external trade. I repeat, on the basis of geographical location of buyers and sellers, trade can be divided into two types, internal trade and external trade. Now, what is the first one? The internal trade. It is a trade within a geographical boundary or trade within a country. That is what we call internal trade, the trade within the country. For example, now the trade is taking place within India. So, India, if we have the geographical boundary, it is a country. So, trade within our country, that is what we call internal trade. One more thing is here, external trade, the trade between two geographical boundary or the trade between the various countries, I mean two or more countries, that is called external trade. Now, I repeat, when it comes to internal trade, on the basis of geographical location of buyers and sellers, trade can be divided into two types, internal trade and external trade. So, meaning of internal trade, the trade within a country. Then when it comes to external trade, trade between the countries. Now, what is the meaning of trade? Trade means just buying and selling of goods and services. That is the meaning of trade. We studied in the first chapter, the meaning of trade, commerce, business, industry. So, there we study the meaning of trade. Okay. Now, again when it comes to internal trade, now I said on the basis of geographical location of buyers and sellers, trade can be divided into two types, so internal trade and external trade. Again, internal trade can be divided into two types. So, first one, wholesale trade, and second one, retail trade. So, first one, the wholesale trade, and second one, retail trade. Okay, now we should study what is the meaning of wholesale trading, then what is the meaning of wholesale, then again what is the meaning of retail trading and meaning of retail trade. Okay. So, first what is the meaning of wholesale trade? So, wholesale trade is the activity of buying the goods from the manufacturer in bulk quantity, then sell it relatively small quantities to the retailers. The activity is called the wholesale trading. I repeat, when it comes to wholesale trade or wholesale trading, it is a activity. It is a activity of buying the goods from the manufacturers in bulk quantity, then sell it to the retailer in relatively small quantity. That is what we call wholesale trading. Now, who is a wholesaler? The person who performs wholesale trading, or the person who buys the goods from manufacturer in bulk quantity, then he is called wholesale trader. The next one, the retail trade and retail trader. Now, what is the meaning of retail trade? It is the activity of buying the goods from the wholesaler in bulk quantity, then sell it to the ultimate consumers or customers in small quantity. That is the activity of retail trade. Very simple one. When it comes to retail trading, the person is, or the, when it comes to retail trading, is the activity of buying the goods from the wholesaler relatively in high quantity or in the large quantity, then sell it to the ultimate destination or ultimate consumers in a small quantity. That is what we call retail trading. Now, who is the retailer? When you come to retailer, is the person who performs the retail activity or retail work, or the person who buys the goods from the wholesaler in a relatively large quantity, then he sells it to the ultimate destination or to the consumer, then he is a retailer, retail trader. Okay. Here we have one distribution channel. So, right from the on the top we have the manufacturers and the producers. Then the goods passes to the wholesaler, then wholesaler to the retailer, and ultimate to the consumers. So, this is one of the what you call the distribution channel. So, we have one more channel. I repeat, when you come to first channel, for first we have the manufacturers or the producers, then we have the wholesaler, then the retailers, then we have ultimately that goods should go to the ultimate consumer or to the customer. So, some other distribution channels, sometimes we have the manufacturers or the what you call producers, then we have the agent. So, after agent there comes wholesaler, then the retailers, then the ultimate consumers. That is what you call the distribution channel. So, here we study the two brokers or agents or middlemen of distribution channels. Okay, first one wholesaler, second one retailer. So, both are the what you call the middlemen of distribution channel. Now, the wholesaler in the distribution channel of manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer and consumer is the link between, wholesaler is a link between the manufacturers and the retailer. Now, the retailer is the agent or link or the broker between consumers and the wholesaler, Okay. Now, the wholesaler, he purchases goods from the manufacturer, then sells to the retailer. But retailer, he purchases goods from the wholesaler, then he sells to the ultimate consumer. This is the things about wholesale trade and retail trade. Now, the services to the manufacturer is the concept. Here we study the services of wholesaler. Okay, not services of retailer, the services of wholesaler to the manufacturer and to the retailer. Here he performs some activity or functions or services. Who now? The wholesaler. He performs some services, he gives some services. Wholesaler, he gives some services to the manufacturer and again to the retailer, because wholesaler is in the position of middleman, just like a broker or agent between the manufacturers and the retailer. He is the link between, wholesaler is the link between manufacturers and the retailers. Here he does some functions, services to the manufacturer. Wholesaler, he performs some services to the manufacturer as well as to the retailer. So, now first the services to the manufacturers. So, first one facilitating large scale production, second one bearing of risk, third one financial assistance, then fourth one expert advice, fifth one help in marketing function, sixth one helps in production continuity, then seventh one storage. These are all the services of the wholesaler to the manufacturer, services of wholesaler to the manufacturers. Again we have some other services. Here the services of wholesaler to the retailer. So, first one availability of goods, then marketing support, grant credit, specialized knowledge and risk sharing. Here we have the 5 services of wholesaler to the retailers. When you come to this point, the services of wholesaler to the manufacturers, we have the 7 services. Okay, now come to the first one, the services of wholesaler to the manufacturer. First one, facilitating large scale production. Here the manufacturer, he collects the order from various retailers, then he pulls it, then he sends one order to the manufacturer, so that manufacturers, they can produce the goods in large scale, they can maintain economies of scale. That means when we produce goods in large quantity, automatically the cost of production comes down. Again, it is one of the services given by the wholesaler to the manufacturers. I repeat, when you come to this one, the services of wholesaler to the manufacturers, first one, facilitating large scale production. It means the wholesaler, he collects the small orders from numerous or several retailers, then he pulls it, then he sends it to the manufacturers for the for producing the goods. So they can produce the goods in large quantity. That's the first services. Second one, bearing of risk. So business that includes risk, because profit is a reward for risk in the business. So second one, bearing risk. Here the when you come to wholesaler, he purchases goods from the manufacturers in the bulk quantity, then he keep it in his storage or in the warehouses. Okay. So when you come to wholesaler, he collects the goods or he buys the goods from the manufacturers in large quantity, then he store it in his warehouse, so that manufacturers, they are relieved from some problems. They are relieved from the problems of storage or the theft or the fire or the pilferage or the fluctuation of price or in the fall in the price. These are all some problems or risk in the business. Now the manufacturers are relieved from the problem, because the wholesaler, he purchased all the product, he purchased product in the large quantity, then he stored it in his warehouse. That is the second services. Third one, financial assistance. When you come to financial assistance, the wholesaler, he purchases goods in bulk quantity, again he make the huge payment in cash. That is one more, what do you call, the support or help by the wholesaler to the manufacturers. One more thing is here, sometimes the wholesaler, he grants credits or he advances money to the manufacturers. It is a one more service of wholesaler to the manufacturer. Then fourth one, expert advice. Now what is the meaning of expert advice? Here the manufacturers, they have the close relationship or close contact with the retailers. Retailers, they have the close contact with the consumers. Now the manufacturers, they collect the marketing information. So what is the taste of the consumer, what is the preference, what is the like or dislike of the consumer. So they collect the information from the retailer. Now the manufacturer, he collects the marketing information from the retailers, then he sends it to the manufacturer. I repeat, wholesaler, he collects the marketing information, I mean the taste, the preference or like of the consumers from the retailer. He collects the information from the retailers, then he sends it to the manufacturers. So manufacturer, they get expert advice on, according to the report or the marketing information given by the wholesaler. Now manufacturers, they can produce the goods. That is the fourth, what you call, advantage or services of wholesaler to the manufacturers. So next one, help in marketing function. As I said, what all the marketing functions are here. So, storage or the promotion activity, advertising, then promotion means what? The convincing the people, inducing the people to buy the goods, that is what we call promotion or advertising. These are all the marketing function. Okay, storage, warehousing, the promotional activity, advertisement, packing, packaging, the grading. Okay, these are all the marketing functions. This is also performed by the wholesaler, because most of the times the wholesaler, he purchases goods in bulk, then he gives promotion or the advertisement on behalf of manufacturers. Now, the manufacturers are relieved from the promotional activity or marketing functions. All the marketing functions are done by the wholesaler. They purchase the goods from the manufacturers in the bulk quantity, then they store it in their warehouse, then they give the advertisement on behalf of the manufacturers. Then they conduct some promotional activity, so they are grading the product, they do the work of packaging or packing. So, all the functions are done by the wholesaler on behalf of the manufacturers. Now, they are fully freed, they are relieved from the problem, manufacturers are relieved from the marketing function also. So, one more services given by the wholesaler to the manufacturer. Then one more thing, helps in production continuity. So, because of the wholesaler, now the manufacturer, they can conduct manufacturing work or production work throughout the year. Now, how it is possible? The wholesaler, they purchases goods regularly from the manufacturers. Wholesaler, they purchases the goods from the manufacturers regularly in large quantity, then they store it in the storage or in the warehouse. So, when now the manufacturers, they have the demand for their product, because on other hand the goods, all the goods are purchased by the wholesaler. If we have this demand for the product, automatically manufacturers, they manufacture the goods or produce the goods. So, throughout the year, that gives the continuity to the manufacturers. Then we have the storage facility. As I said, the wholesaler, they collect the goods from the manufacturers, then they store it in their warehouse. So, now the manufacturer, they are relieved from the work of storage also. They need not store their product, they need not store their finished product in the storage, because now the storage facility also given by the wholesaler. There is one more service given by the wholesaler to the manufacturers. Here he performs some work. So, we have 2 points here. First one, services given by the wholesaler to the manufacturers, and services given by the wholesaler to the retailer. Now, we have studied the first one. We studied first one, services of wholesaler to the manufacturers. First one, facilitating large scale production, bearing risk, financial assistance, expert advice. Then help in marketing function, help in production continuity and storage. So, this is the concept. Next thing, the services to retailers, services provided by the wholesaler to the retailer. First one, availability of goods. Second one, marketing support. Third one, grant credit. Fourth one, specialized knowledge. Then fifth one, risk sharing. Now, come to first one, availability of goods. Now, the retailer, they have to keep the product readily for the sale of that product to the consumers. That is the one thing. Now, one more thing is here, the wholesaler, they collect the product from various manufacturers, then that they make it readily available for the retailers. Whenever retailer want to purchase a product, whenever they want to have the product, automatically the retailers, they get the product from the wholesaler. So, that is the first one, availability of goods. Now, for example, retailers, they have all the product in their market, all the products are available in their shop, then who is responsible for that? For that good work? Only the wholesaler, because wholesaler, they purchases product from the various manufacturer, then they store it in their warehouse. Whenever need arises, whenever retailer wants a product, then they provide the product to the retailer. That's the first one, availability of goods. So second one, marketing support. As I said, what are the marketing support? The main functions of marketing, the storage or the promotion or advertisement. Now, on the behalf of retailers, because retailers, they are the agent or the middlemen, they are the just like a middleman in the distribution channel. So, they are the persons, they are the party in the position to sell the product to the ultimate consumers. Okay, when consumer buy the product, only when they are aware of it. Okay, so if for example, assuming that I am a consumer, I don't know anything about one product, then I won't buy it. Okay, I should what do you call? I should aware of it. One of the main reason for advertisement or promotion activity. Now, promotion activity is done by the wholesaler. On behalf of retailer, the wholesaler, they do some promotional activity, the advertisement or promotion activity or the storage or some the grading or the packaging work. Again, that is a support to the retailer, that is what you call marketing support. Then next one, the grant credit. Okay, before that, when you come to second one, marketing support, wholesaler, they are expert in single line of product or in the multi line of product. The wholesaler, they are expert in their field, so that they can give the valuable tips to the retailer. Again, that is again helpful to the retailer. That is what we call marketing support. One more thing, grant credit. Sometimes wholesaler, they provide the credit or they sell their product to the retailer on credit for their regular customers, so that retailer, they can do their business with a less working capital. That is one more thing, grant credit. Okay, that means they sell the product on credit to the regular retailers. One more thing is here, the specialized knowledge. The wholesaler, they are expert in the business, then they give the beautiful tips to the retailer, how to persuade the customer, how to convince the customer. That is again the services given by the wholesaler. Next one, risk sharing, because the retailer, they purchases goods from the manufacturers in relatively less quantity or in the sometimes relatively more quantity, because they won't buy product in the large quantities, relatively high sometimes, so that they can avoid the risk of theft, pilferage or fire. That is again the one more service given by the wholesaler, that is the risk sharing. That is the concept. Okay. In today's class we have studied these things. Okay. So, we studied internal trade, external trade, wholesale trade, retail trade, then services given by the wholesaler to the manufacturers, then the first services to the manufacturers, facilitating large scale production, bearing risk, financial assistance, then expert advice, then help in marketing function, helps in production continuity, then storage. Then the services of wholesaler to the retailer, availability of goods, marketing support, grant credit, specialized knowledge, risk sharing. This is the concept we studied in this class. Okay. So, main thing you should know the fact that both the manufacturers and retailer, there comes under the distribution channel, they are the middlemen. So, nowadays we have the shorter distribution channel directly from the manufacturer to the consumer by using the e-commerce or by using some app. We have the Amazon Flipkart or Snapdeal, and now you have the JioMart, okay, it's from the Reliance company. So in that case, very short distribution channel we have, directly from the manufacturer to the consumer. Otherwise, if you have the sometimes you have the long distribution channels, right from the manufacturer, then to the agent, then to the manufacturers, then the retailers, and the ultimate consumers. Sometimes from the manufacturers, then to the wholesaler, then to the retailers, then to the ultimate consumers. As one more short distribution channel, that is manufacturer to the retailers, to the consumers, or manufacturers, agent, and to the consumer. This is the things. Okay, thank you for watching. See you in the next class.